All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Guard Capital. It is Tuesday, November 28th, 2023. Glad to be with you this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. A chilly one here in Central Florida. We dipped it around 49 degrees. So you already know once once that temperature hits like that number six, in the 60s, got to put that jacket on. Again, I've always lived in either Florida or Texas, and it's always hot. So any dip in temperature, I'm like freezing. Back to it. Dow futures down 20 points as we go around the horn. Nasdaq down 23. S&P 500 down 0.18%, and the Russell down about 0.17%. Still flat, still chopping. Nothing has really changed. The dollar continuing to sink, down 0.16% at 103.03. The VIX is up 1.42% at 12.87. 10-year Treasury yield slightly bouncing after we had the 2-year bond auction yesterday, 4.402. So we're seeing some demand for government securities as actually Treasury yields are coming down, other than this morning. Crude oil was bouncing and then fell with some headlines regarding OPEC. Let's go ahead and read those headlines together here on the blog. All right. So OPEC Plus talks difficult. Further delay in meeting possible. Oil drops after reports of OPEC meeting could be delayed again as talks remain difficult. Policy rollover is a possibility. The policy rollover meaning that there's no change in terms of the supply of oil being produced. Some other headlines this morning. Micron shares are on watch ahead of a presentation this morning at UBS Global Technology Conference at 9:35 in the morning. Adobe says U.S. consumers spent a total of $12.4 billion on Cyber Monday, up 9.6%. Affirm. Adobe says on Cyber Monday, buy now, pay later usage hit an all-time high in the U.S., contributing to $940 million in online spend, up 42.5%. Good morning, Ryan. Glad to see you. We also had some headlines here. Twilio rises 4.5% on report that Anson build stake pushes for sale. There's also rumors that the Cybertruck will cost between $60,000 to $80,000 in terms of the new Tesla Cybertruck. I have seen a couple of photos of it on it. I do like the Teslas, don't get me wrong. But I don't know about that Cybertruck. I don't think I drive that, but maybe some people will. So Tesla's definitely a stock that I've been watching. But again, we'll chart that here in a second. Let's keep it going. Gasoline futures up 1.24% this morning. We had 60 consecutive days of gasoline declines, gasoline prices, even with travel demand. So, I mean, that's just showing you in terms of gasoline that the supply and demand is kind of at a good place where you're below $3 a gallon. That seems to be that kind of pain threshold for most consumers. Remember, guys, if gas prices go below $2, $1.50, $1, that's nice and all. But how many jobs are out there based on oil drilling, exploration, engineering? And if gas prices are going lower, what do you think is going to happen to those energy companies? They're going to come back too. Remember, that's revenue. So again, supply and demand in terms of gasoline works like anything else. If gasoline prices fall too much, too fast, that's going to be a hit on, workers that work in that field. So as much as we all would love, 50-cent gas like it was in, the 1960s, it just doesn't work that way in this economy. So what the market is trying to find is a common ground where consumers are not upset and oil manufacturers and oil producers can at least, have highly skilled workers working the rigs and the engineering and all that and the research. But guys, gasoline demand is only going to go less when you have more EVs on the road. It's just the reality. We've talked about this, the geopolitical issue of the Saudis, expanding their investments into other things other than petroleum. I mean, the writing's on the wall. So even with what's happening in the Middle East, gasoline and crude oil is falling. Usually the inverse happens when we get that, headlines from either Israel, the Gaza Strip, or anywhere, Iran or stuff like that. We get some kind of spike in oil prices. But this time it's been the inverse. So we'll see what OPEC says in terms of crude oil trading. Kind of tough when you have those headlines out there. Tomorrow we have crude oil inventory. So just waiting. Not like we don't trade oil a lot. We're kind of holding that level around 75. I say if we break below the recent lows of 72.20, maybe give us a crack to short it till 67 or so. Let's see here. Gold futures. We had a contract rollover, at least on TD Ameritrade. It's now into the February. It's at 2041. But the previous contract, we had a futures signal on it. We caught it. Let me go and make sure I can get this here. Futures trades. Here we go. Yeah, there was a little bit of confusion since we had a rollover on the gold contract. So this one is for, I believe, December. And these are we got in at 2010. They hit 2020, which is TP1 today, but we took it ahead of time. So I think we got 2014. That's around 40 points, 40, 45 or so on gold. So well done to the team. I just did not fill. This was sent on Sunday, and I was watching football at that point. I wasn't even looking at my phone. So well done to Nick and the futures group. In terms of gold, let's take a look at that rather quickly. Yeah, and again, this is the new gold contract. Let me see if I can get the alert here. I thought I had. Let's see, maybe I had it on this one. MGC Z 2022. Yeah, it's about. Well, we'll just go by the new one. Let's just make it easy. I thought I put an alert there. So we are starting to push, as you can see, break out. The target really is 2089. Some of our members were asking if they could get back in. So what I'm going to do is place the alert here at 2058. That'll confirm the breakout, at least on this level here. See, I had an alert at 2048. So, I mean, whatever. Sometimes TOS just likes to play games. All right, let's finish it up here. Silver futures up about a quarter point, 25.10. We also have the euro dollar 109.67 up 13 pips. Japanese yen versus the dollar, 148.44 down 22 pips. Dollar Canadian dollar down 24 pips. 135.91 pound dollar, 126.42. That's up 15. Bitcoin is bouncing as well. 37,900, 20.59 for Ethereum, and there you go, around the horn. Rather quickly on S&P 500 again, just chopping, guys. Just very complacent market right now. You get a couple of names that are moving. We're going to segue to that. ROKU, we talked about that yesterday. We got the breakout. We sent out the signal. Again, the yellow line, we talked about this yesterday. You break above 98 or so, we went ahead and filled those out. So well done to the team. As you could see, we got as high as 174. I do have a runner. I got it out for 110. This is where I closed the majority position. But we sent it out, the 100 calls at $1.63. So nice snack. I still think ROKU has more legs. Let's see if we have a little more volume as we open up today. Next target for me would be 110.66. So maybe we can get a shot at maybe, next week's 110s on ROKU. Let's see the pricing on it. Maybe we get a little bit of a dip. Maybe we get a little bit of a retest of 98.60. That's your resistance. We know that previous resistance becomes support. I still like ROKU for more upside. That's what we're looking at. So well done to the team. We talked about that yesterday, and that was sent out on the blog as well. Everyone knows that was part of the watch list. This is my morning coffee. Nice. Morning, can you go over Tesla and NVIDIA? Yeah. Tesla, I'm watching. Again, the same level applies, guys. 249.04. That's what we need. That'll be above the 100. That's above the trend line. Get me above there. We could take a look at the 260s to 270 calls on Tesla. Yes, we do have a gap to fill below at 225.54. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Would like it if it holds the 20-day, but as of right now, you really can't do much on NVIDIA when you're just kind of chopping around. So all it's doing is just eating your premium since we had the earnings. Since we had the earnings print, I believe we closed at 500. We're about, we're at 482, what, $18 away? Not exactly a big mover for a name like NVIDIA. Let's go to Broadcom and Avgo. Getting a little bit of a pullback here. Nothing really to look at since your support is right around 921.64. If that's where you're looking forward to maybe add a couple of shares, there's not a lot of options on this one, but that would be my target, the 920 area, and just hope you hold it because if not, you're going to be stuck in this range here until 817. So again, maybe you could dollar cost average it. The chart looks fine as long as it stays above 927.94. That's your 20. If not, you're going to pull back to the bottom end, worst case scenario at 818. Palantir, yes, one of my favorites. Pull back. Now we're at the 20. Nice bounce, very choppy, but again, still on the upside. Let's see if we get a little momentum back in this I want to go ahead and break out the level that we had before, which is 2025. If we can get above there, then I want to go ahead and signal possibly the 21s to the 22s for next week. We already traded these before, but again, we can get another crack at it. So we went over Roku. We went over all this stuff. I do have AMD still. We did get Amazon for Masterclass. I'm still holding it, but I gave everyone the option. Still looking for 124.76 on AMD. Nothing really has changed there. Again, just a very complacent and choppy market. Seems like we still have that Thanksgiving Day hangover. When opportunities present itself, guys, we're gonna go for it. Yesterday was choppy, but Roku hit our alert, and that's what we're looking for. Another one, I remember now, DraftKings. There was a cash out I saw. One of the board members actually cashed out some shares. But again, with Amazon, how much Amazon soared, and even Jeff Bezos was selling shares. Walmart, the Walton family was selling shares. I mean, this is what happens. If you want to base an investment strategy on if they're selling shares or not, that's fine. But looking at DraftKings anyways, just on a technical basis, I still expect more upside. Really, your support here is 37.18. Place an alert there. If that breaks, then we can start taking a look to the low side. If not, it looks like more likely all dips are being bought. The only issue is that we do have a gap to fill around 29. So what we're looking for is 39.35. Break the highs again. If we do, we'll take a look at some calls, the 40 to $41 range. Really looking at next resistance of around 43.64 if we're just basing on this fib here, based on the peak that was in last July. So that's where we are. I wish I had more to talk about, team, but again, kind of a slow kind of grind of a day, but we'll see what we can get. I'm sure we can make some magic happen. All right. We'll go and leave it there, guys. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything. Turn on notifications. Glad to have you guys. Wish there was more to talk about. AMD. Yes. I just went over it, but we'll go over it again. AMD 124.76. Again, beautiful trend line. It's not like we've broken anything. We're still above the 50 MA on the 1 hour. So again, it's just a grind. I mean, since Wednesday, it's just been chop, chop, chop. And we just got to wait, baby. That's all we got to do. All right, we'll leave it there. I will see you guys tomorrow.